Hi, Trainer Emily here. Welcome to Training Tip Tuesday. This week we continue our series on viewer-submitted questions. This week, Karen Clark writes to us that I am having problems with Jules digging up my backyard. How do I go about getting her to stop? She's really a good dog other than that. Well, Karen, I think I have a few tips for you. If your yard starts to look like the surface of the moon, full of craters, there are a few things that you can try to discourage your dog from digging. Number one, make sure your dog's mental and physical needs are met. Is your dog getting enough exercise? A lot of things like chewing and barking and digging especially are things that dogs do when they're not getting enough physical exercise and mental stimulation. So make sure your dog is getting enough time on walks. This is Todd. Todd's helping me today. Aw, Todd. Are you a digger? Maybe. So that's one thing definitely, is make sure your dog has enough to do and is mentally stimulated enough. Number two, if you have the space for it, you can try creating a dig pit for your dog. So an area that you designate as it's okay for the dog to dig. And you can even encourage the dog to dig there by loosening up the soil. Dogs especially like to dig in loose soil. You can bury some toys or even some treats in there and your dog will love it. And he can just view that as part of enrichment for his yard. In situations where you're trying to get them to stop digging in specific places, when you fill the hole back up, there are some things that you can put on it to discourage the dog from being attracted to that area. One, you can add some orange peels. Some dogs don't like the smell of citrus or even lemon peels. Lemon peels actually probably be stronger. There's also some crystals, animal repellent, that you can buy at most garden stores and hardware stores. Just look in the garden section. They're labeled animal repellent crystals, or Critter Ritter, I think is a brand. And you can use deer repellent crystals in a pinch too. Those usually work as well. In severe cases, like if your dog is digging around a fence line, or in landscape property, sometimes I recommend people consider getting chicken wire and putting chicken wire down on the ground and then putting substrate, so some sort of bark or gravel on top of that, so it's not as attractive to dig on and they can't dig through it, so it's not very comfortable. Excuse me. In situations in which your dog is digging because they're trying to escape or get out, that's a completely different problem and it does need to be addressed in a different way. That's more of a aloneness problem. But just for common digging, hopefully those suggestions will give you some good ideas about how to deter your dog from turning your yard from that into this. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.